We are live. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Survivor Series on Higgy 2.0, my public figure page. We're going to let the audience build. Please, if you would, share this out. We're going to let the audience build. We're going to play a song by Problematic featuring Kalichi called Moment.
Some of us don't get a second chance. So I'm out here living like there's no tomorrow. I'm grateful for every opportunity. Yeah. The goal is to inspire, keep on making an impact. I'm in this for the long run, regardless of setbacks. Value my opinion over yours, don't forget that. The talking up a social, you can save all the chit chat. You paying no attention, I don't pay no mind. Cause I ain't way too self-driven to be wasting my time. No more negativity, no more bad energy. Good vibes, only how I ride when you step to me. People lie, I don't trust words, I trust action. Satan keeps calling, but he won't get it. Reaction. I wake up every morning with a little less passion. Walk this road alone so I do not have distractions. 6 feet under when it rains and pours. Feelings get you hurt, that's why my heart is sore. Back and forth, I'm going back and forth. Will I ever learn my lesson? I don't know for sure. I've been caught up in the moment, hoping I can make things right. Been praying to my Lord that I will get through the night. Everybody's gonna judge, don't matter what you do. Best part about being me is I'm not like you. I've been caught up in the moment, hoping I can make things right. Been praying to my Lord that I will get through the night. Everybody's gonna judge, don't matter what you do. Best part about being me is I'm not like you.
Depression is real, it's something I can feel when I'm broken, battered, and beat it and don't know how to deal with anything I'm facing. I'm trying to survive the struggle, but everything I'm touching is breaking and bringing trouble. I'm feeling so alone and my future is hard to see. My life is hard to manage, I panic, it's always hard to breathe. I needed you, I needed someone I could run to. Why is it so hard for me to say the words I love you? And where were you when I needed you the most? I'm filling the void with defects cause I don't know how to cope. This is life I never experienced. Hope my pen is guided by the devil, writing this suicide note. Now I'm left without an answer to explain. Thunderstorms and dark clouds as I'm dancing in the rain. I want to self-destruct from all the feelings that I felt, but I am practicing acceptance with every card I was dealt.
I've been caught up in the moment, hoping I can make things right. Been praying to my Lord that I will get through the night. Everybody's gonna judge, don't matter what you do. Best part about being me is I'm not like you. I've been caught up in the moment, hoping I can make things right. Been praying to my Lord that I will get through the night.
Share this, you guys.
Everybody's gonna judge, don't matter what you do. Best part about being me is I'm not like you. Not like you.
Again, welcome to the Survivor Series. Survivor Series is an original product of No More Heroin. We're broadcasting on Higgy 2.0 because of a current restriction on the No More Heroin page. So please, guys, share this out. The message is still going to be the same. It's a live feed testimonial series of people that have overcome seemingly insurmountable odds to live a life of purpose and destiny. And tonight is no different. We have our dear friend from Wisconsin, Deamon Boettcher. Nice to see you, my friend. Welcome back to the Survivor Series.
Yeah, man. Nice to see you. Always.
So let me see. We got a lot of comments. A lot of people jumping in here. The last time you were with us was in September for National Recovery Month. You jumped on. and chopped it up with the audience for about an hour. You had a very successful, engaging live. So thank you for doing that. And always, whenever I ask you to do an interview or a live, you always step up to the plate. So thank you for being a voice for recovery.
Of course, man. Thank you for continuously inviting me. I'll always be here.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So awesome. So I would like for you to chronicle your life. You know, start from the beginning, and take us on a trip down memory lane. You know, where you come from, what happened, and where you are today.
Wow. Okay. All right. Starting from the beginning, huh?
Yes, sir.
Let me see. Okay. Well, I guess I was a happy kid up until about age 4 or 5 when my dad left, and that's when everything got bad. You know what I mean? That's when everything went to shit. So, let me think here, man. Starting back. So after my dad left, I started acting out. You know, I was all over the place. As I got a little bit older, my grades were shit. I was doing absolutely horrible. I was born in Tennessee, by the way. Not a lot of people know that. I was born in Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
Nice.
And we did a lot of traveling. I was jumping around schools a lot up until about 3rd grade. And then I came to Merrill, Wisconsin. And that's pretty much where I stayed for majority of time. But, okay. I was a kid. My dad took off. I was handling it horribly. I was acting out. Just getting out of control, man, in school. Absolutely horrible. Throwing chairs and desks and talking back and whatever. And then I hit my teenage years, and I was still going through the same shit. And then I started drinking. I started drinking pretty heavily when I was about 13. Really bad, like blackout. Every night, going out, sneaking out, getting drunk. Which then I started smoking weed. And from weed, I started snorting pills, and then now I'm skipping school and I'm getting suspended and I'm in fights all the time and blah, 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 blah. Led me to probably one of the most interesting chapters of my life is when I finally met my dad again. I got into some legal trouble because I was doing shit, I was robbing bars and people and all that with my meth addiction. But
How old were you at that time?
16.
16.
Yeah, I was 16 when I started shooting up meth. So,
wow.
And that I started out in Spokane, Washington. That's where that started for me. I was on pills and all that shit here. Then I got into some legal trouble, robbed a bar.
That's
and
big boy shit. That's big boy shit right there.
Yeah, man. We stole a big TV and a bunch of other shit and whatever. I was just out of control. So I finally tracked down my dad then because I went to court and they wanted to send me to jail for like a couple weeks only because I was still underage, so it wasn't like a huge thing. I wasn't being charged like as an adult that would into juvie and whatnot. So I actually tracked down my dad and I took off. I found him. He was in Washington, so I took off to Washington. My mom did not approve. She did not approve at all. I just kind of did it on my own. So I took off to Washington, and there I found when I met my dad that he was a huge meth and heroin dealer.
Mm.
So that is instantly when I started using meth and heroin. So that was my introduction into that. Then shit went south between us. He was tweaked out all the time and, couldn't trust anybody. And I was a 16-year-old kid, lost, trying to figure my shit out. We didn't get along. So I flew back. And from there is when I brought some dope back with me on the plane. And that's what got me in connection with all the people around here because the dope here was shit compared to the dope that was there. So
Absolutely.
So now I'm connected with all these other people, and I'm getting deeper and deeper into my drug addiction. I'm going days. I'm going, weeks, not sleeping, not eating. Getting super, super skinny. You could smell the meth in my pores. You could see it in my face. I mean, I was bruised up on my entire body from shooting up 6-7 times a day. I was it was so bad, and my mom would be freaking out because she didn't know how to handle it. You know, and she did the best that she could. But so I came back, I connected with all these people, kept doing bad shit, ended up crashing a stolen, brand new Chrysler 300. And I was 17 at this time. I crashed this Chrysler 300, and I was arrested with 1,000 plus pieces of paraphernalia in the car. Yeah, I had a duffel bag full of over 1,000 syringes alone, and their straps and cookers and all that shit, which wasn't illegal, but because one of them was open, they were able to charge me with all of them. And when the car crashed, needles flew everywhere. I mean, it was a horrible looking, and I woke up in jail, so it's not like I was even, you know, awake when this happened. I crashed the car, woke up in jail. I got sentenced to 6 months in jail. So I went and I sat 6 months when I was 17 in adult county jail in some random county that I never even heard of before. I got out, started doing the same thing, you know, straight back to drugs. I never once wanted to get clean. Never once did I say, I want to get clean. I didn't. You know, I hated myself. I hated my life. Which is why when I promote things like willpower and self-control, it's because that's my path was. You know, that's what my path was all about, was me, you know, finding the root to my problem, finding a way to become comfortable with myself, getting over the hatred I had for myself, finding self-worth, and then start my road to recovery. But yeah, so I crashed the car, went to jail, got out, kept doing the same damn thing. I started meeting girls online. What's that?
Michael Moulton's in the comments just saying hi.
Yeah, so I started meeting girls online, and I was using them, you know, like pretending to have interest in other states so that when I got in legal trouble, I'd have other states I could run to and and have a place to stay with a girl and all that. So I mean, that led me to Texas, it led me to Pennsylvania, it led me to Canada. I mean, I was all over the United States running around, running drugs, man. Like, just a kid. I wasn't even 18 yet. You know, I'm in Canada, Texas.
Buck wild, right?
You kind of cut out there. Yeah, it just cut out for a second. Did you say something?
Yeah, I was gonna say you're just running buck wild, right? Oh, our connection.
Right.
We have connection issues.
Yeah, just.
It should
give
pass.
It a second.
We good?
I think so. Yeah, okay. So I was flying all over the place. Through drugs, you know, bringing drugs back and whatever, and my mom didn't know how to handle any of this. You know, I mean, I was all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
But what ended up happening was, this is the part of my recovery that's pretty important. The day I decided to get clean, you know, the day I decided to turn it around, and I can't exactly explain what happened, but I woke up one day and I was covered in sweat. You know, I had a bag of dope still in my pocket, and I just felt all of a sudden like I got a realization. You know, I got a realization that I consider myself, even though I was using, that I like to, throughout my entire addiction, I stated that I was in complete control of what's going on. You know what I mean? I'm like, I am deciding to use. I'm deciding to continue to use. This is my choice. You know what I mean? I'm not a victim to my addiction here. I'm in control of it. I'm you know, making happen what's happening. And then I had a realization that
I'm like, I am deciding.
That's all good. I had a realization like, okay, if I consider myself in full control and I have this amazing amount of willpower, no matter how much I hate myself and blah, 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 why am I letting somebody else's actions determine my self-worth? You know what I mean? How strong can I be if I'm letting abandonment issues determine my self-worth and myself? I started using simply because I wanted to feel numb from the pain I felt my dad leaving. You know what I mean? Like that was it. I mean, it hurt me so bad that the one person that's supposed to love you the most just is gone. You know? And then you meet them and they're just a horrible person. And right. Then it just gets worse. But I just had this realization that if I consider myself this strong person me letting somebody else dictate what I'm doing with my life is very weak. You know, so I identified the root of my use, which was my abandonment issues and my
How old were
self-esteem.
you at this point?
I was 19.
Wow, I commend you for that. I give you props for being able to identify that. It takes a lot of us to do a lot of soul searching to dig through all that garbage of our and wreckage of our past to get to the root issue.
Yeah, no, man, I can't explain how. I just woke up and I felt like a mental growth. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it's just like all of a sudden I felt like I'm aware of what the hell I'm doing to myself after years of being numb. And it just made me feel like a very weak person that I'm letting my dad's abandonment issues destroy my entire life. So that day, that realization, that moment, I called up a buddy of mine. I had him come over. I gave him the rest of my entire bag of dope, and I have been clean and sober ever since.
What were the consequences leading up to that decision? What happened in your life that made you make that decision?
To get clean?
Yes.
Like all the shit I went through, the legal shit, and there was the going to jail, there was the going to juvie, so I did both of those. There was the relationships that were burnt, man, and all the people that tried to help me, all the people that tried to help me along the way that I cared nothing about. And this is why I stand firmly on and there's so many people out there that want to help. There's so many people that want to help. And unfortunately, the truthful answer is that if that person doesn't want help, you cannot force this person to get help. And people don't want to believe that. People want to be like, well, I'm going to force my kid in the rehab, and all you're doing is driving them further. I mean, it really sucks to be in that position where, like, you can do nothing. You could do nothing but offer a hand when they need it, be there for them when they need it. But forcing anything upon somebody who is not ready is only going to make it worse. And so, I think that's a very important thing to get across. Don't force anybody in the recovery. Show them some steps.
It's hard to watch. It's hard to watch somebody you love turn into somebody that you don't know.
Yeah, it's a horrible, heart-sinking feeling. But then, so all this shit happened, and then before I got clean, I actually robbed another couple places. And I was gonna run. Because I always ran. I always ran to get out of trouble, like another state away. They ain't gonna catch me. Blah blah. I was looking at a total of 30 years, which they always throw this huge amount at you for multiple counts of armed robbery, arson, weapons charges. I went on a spree one night and just robbed a whole bunch of places. And so I was gonna run, but I didn't. A week or two of me being on bond. That's when I gave my bag of dope away. That's when I decided I'm gonna turn myself into prison. I'm gonna do my time, and I'm gonna cut ties with everybody that uses. When I broke up with my girlfriend, right away. I didn't write any of my friends back, and to this day they are still not my friends because they're still using and all that. But I decided I was gonna go and do my time, cut ties, and get a fresh start, man. I didn't write anybody for 2.5 years. My mom was the only person I sent letters to from prison. I didn't write anybody. That was my commitment level to cutting ties, man.
That's impressive, especially for a young person. You had it enough. You were sick and tired of being sick and tired, and you started changing your people, your places, and your things, and you owned up to your responsibilities. You accepted your consequences, and it propelled you forward to this amazing growth that you've experienced up to this point.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. I just made a meme recently that is one of my favorite things of all time. It says, it's amazing what you can do with your life when you stop making excuses.
Absolutely.
And that's probably the quote I stand by more than anything in this entire world. Like, the second you stop making excuses is the second you can start changing your life. It's the second you can start taking control. It's the second you start taking control is when you stop making excuses.
That's right. And that's a powerful thing too, because being able to walk through fear and realize that you are making excuses. The things that keep us back from getting the things we want is the bullshit stories we tell ourselves why we can't have them.
Yeah, exactly, man. You're always blaming somebody else, or if my life wasn't this way, or if this person didn't do this to me. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And
exactly.
that leads you down a pity road, and a lot of people live off that so that they can continue to use and do what they're going to do.
Exactly.
And I'm not exactly as sentimental or as, you know, as a lot of others out there when it comes to this type of thing. Like I have my own, I feel like I'm a different kind of wave in the
You have
the
a more of a
recovery
hard
genre.
line approach.
Yeah, exactly, man. I have a
Suck it
different
up,
wave in
Buttercup.
the yeah, right, yeah, but you know, that's why when a lot of people ask me when I feel somebody out when they're talking to me about recovery and this and that, I usually recommend them to Maddie, to be honest with you. You know, Maddie's the type of dude that take a softer approach with getting, you know, to people. I feel like, you know, I know when not to tell somebody something and to send them to a better listening ear.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. You know, and a lot of times it's a lot of wasted energy and emotion trying to convince somebody that they need help or that they need to change their habits or, you know, take, you know, force any kind of suggestions. Just like you were saying, you can't force recovery on somebody that doesn't want it, because we have to do it for ourselves, and we have to invest ourselves to put the work in to get the results. You know, we can't get mad because we don't get the results from the work we didn't do, right?
Exactly. Yeah. But no, that's a big thing and a major point you just made. And that's, I hear a lot from people about, you know, other public figures of them. They vent a little bit, you know, to each other about sometimes it's frustrating to give your time and day to somebody who wants to cope and talk to you about their addiction and then spend hours, you know, we'll spend hours with you on the phone. We'll spend nights, you know what I mean? Like talking to you about coaching you through it. And then you just go and use again. And then like all that time was like, dude, what, you know what I mean? It's unfortunately it's a power struggle because you can't turn these people away, but you can't, you know, enable them either. So it's a very difficult line between us and them. And it just becomes sometimes it is frustrating, you know, to spend your time and resources to help somebody, and then they just kind of like shit on it and then continue to do what they're going to do. But again, remembering that addiction is selfish. You know what I mean? When I was an addict, I cared nothing about anybody else's feelings or their time or anything like that. So that's something I also try to remember in my sobriety, is that when an addict's talking to me, I know where you're at, so I know how to approach the situation, what you're going to reciprocate in the future. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Reciprocate, you know, because even though I wanted better, I didn't know how to get it. And that obsession of my mind was telling me that I couldn't live without drugs, couldn't live with drugs or without. And my drugs of choice made me physically ill. And it really messed up my mental health as well. And I was strung out on meth, cooking meth in Arizona, you know, for 8 years. So I know what that mental game is like, and the spiritual realm that's involved with meth and the using of meth.
Oh, absolutely, man.
So you've taken a different path in recovery. I mean, you're not, from what I understand, you're not a quote unquote spiritual guy.
Right.
So you've used, you know, self-knowledge and, you know, your affirmations and just hard work to get to where you are, you know, and I'm supportive of all pathways. You know, what you have to offer and your knowledge will help someone, you know, if nothing else, you know, the determination and your persistence has paid off for you.
Yeah, and I'm with you 100%. It's not about segregation of any path of recovery. It is about you finding recovery. You boil down every path, it doesn't matter. It is at the start, the root of how you found that recovery. It doesn't matter how you did it. It doesn't matter how you did it. It doesn't matter if God did it for you. It doesn't matter if you did it yourself. You did it. You know what I mean? You recovered, and you're in recovery, and you're doing your thing, man. That's what's important, not how you got there. How you got there is not, you know.
It's
Just
about,
get there, man.
It's about reclaiming your life and making it better than it was previously.
Yep. No matter how you do it.
So go ahead.
I was just gonna say that I feel like that's a lot of from my experience. Most people in recovery, especially public figures, are spiritual. You know, most of them are, and I just think that it's kind of nice to have other options, you know, other outlets for people who aren't, you know, because before it's pretty shunned upon to, you know, not be spiritual, and then those people get kind of kicked to the side and then just use anyways because they're like, people who aren't spiritual struggle on a different level due to the fact that they don't have anything else to give them purpose. They have to find it for themselves.
Right.
And that's where the difficulty becomes of like, well, what the hell is life? What do I do with it? What do people do in their sobriety? Do they bowl? Do they swim? These are struggles I had, man. And I still do. I'm trying to fill these spaces of time. But it's like when I first got sober, I spent my entire teens high every day. So trying to find normal activities, man, it was just unreal. Like it's unreal to think of what people do in their daily life.
Well, at what age did you discover that you had a talent for drawing?
I always drew since I was little, tiny, 3, 4, 5. I was always drawing, and it was always, again, like my writing, which was always dark. It was always like a inner pain coming out. Voodoo dolls. Surprisingly, voodoo dolls, instead of pin needles, they always had syringes in them. Like they were always,
wow.
They were always dark or something ripping its face off. I mean, it was always inner pain. I've been spending my life trying to get out inner pain, and it's coming around. It's finally not so much pain. It's more like it's contentness, man. I've become content with my life, and I actually couldn't ask for much more, man. I'm totally good, and I've never been about money. And that's like, my family isn't the happiest about that. They're like, come on, you got kids and stuff, but
right.
Dude, like, there's so much I did with this ribbon that I could have got money for that I have not. I've given it to everybody. Every tattoo artist anywhere can do it. I'm not being exclusive about it. Like, that's not cool, man. That's just not cool. Like, it's so much cooler to have somebody in Laos or Africa get the tattoo than it is for me to be like, no, come spend $50 and get it for me, man. It's not about money.
Deamon, you're truly creating a legacy for yourself, and the people that you've blessed with this ribbon, which was a basic design in the beginning. What I would consider a basic design, and I've seen some phenomenal variations, and you've added things, and you have something drawn up that we're going to work with for myself that's personalized, and you do that for everybody. Whatever they want, you cater to them to make it powerful and something that they can wear going forward with pride.
Yes, absolutely. And it's just it's a shame, some of the negativity that I have to go through with it. Like, I've had people message me, I hope that you're happy about the money you're making off of addicts, things like that. And I was like, I don't even respond, because I've learned to ignore that type of thing. I've learned to just, you're not going to win with those type of people. If they're already coming at you negative, it's going to stay negative. So just ignore and move on. But I keep it in the back of my mind. That's why I'm addressing it now. Like, we've put in over $10,000 into things involving the ribbon. I have made probably $1,000 off the tattoos, and then another $600 off merchandise. So I'm still $8,500 in the hole, and that doesn't even bother me. That's not even, because that's not what it's about. That's not what it's about. And it's about, I'll pay to get that ribbon out there. That's what I'm doing. So things like that.
You have some amazing karma working in your favor, because what you have to offer is attractive, and people are drawn to the goodness of it and the purpose. What's up, Timothy Hurd? I love you, bro.
So yeah, I'll quickly touch base. I'll just remind how I came up with the ribbon, because not everybody knows. But so I've been asked a few times through my career to design something to symbolize overcoming addiction. Okay, and
who brought this idea to you?
Well, it's actually it's just a few people. I can't even say by name. Like, over the course of my career, because it's never actually came to fruition. A few people messaged me about coming up with a design for overcoming addiction, and I would say that's a tall order. Like, I don't know. I have no idea. Yeah. I was like, I have no idea. I was like, what came to mind for my sense of style and my art is like a demon breaking out of a pill bottle or a syringe. that's not universal. You know, that's like a one person thing. You know, and that's what all I was doing. So I was tattooing this guy one day, and I had this girl message me about coming up with something for overcoming addiction. And this kept reoccurring to me, especially because I felt like I overcame addiction myself. You know what I mean? So this is something that hits very close to home with me. It resonates. So I was tattooing this guy, and I'm telling this girl about my dilemma here. I was like, I'm working on designs. I'm trying to come up with something to symbolize overcoming addiction. She's like, yeah, it's too bad there's not like a ribbon for that. And I was like,
Boom.
there's got to be. There's a ribbon for absolutely everything. You know what I mean? Like, you know, if your one foot's bigger than the other, there's a ribbon for. You know what I mean? Like, there's a ribbon for everything. So I started researching it, and I was like, okay, there's a ribbon for addiction awareness. There's a ribbon for substance abuse. Okay, but these are red and blue ribbons. Now, if you Google red and blue ribbons, you also get, like, red is substance abuse, but it's also AIDS. You know, it's got like 30 other things with it. So if you have a red ribbon, people don't know if you have AIDS or if you're supporting, recovery. It's too vague, and it's an awareness ribbon. And awareness, I was trying to symbolize an achievement. You know, I was trying to show something that you accomplished, a triumphant symbol, not an awareness symbol. So I took the awareness symbol and I turned it into a triumphant symbol. I turned it into an accomplishment ribbon. It's an achievement ribbon, as I call it. I put a broken chain on it, symbolizing action. You know, it's got the ribbon itself, so that's awareness. You're aware of the action. And I kept it black and white for like yin and yang, you know, future and past, good and bad. And I put it together, and I showed it to a couple of the people that asked me to symbolize something overcoming addiction, and they didn't like it. they were like, no, that's not for me. You know, I was like, oh, that's cool. I'm gonna tattoo it on myself, and I'm gonna post it. You know what I mean? I think it's cool. I love it. It's simple. I kept it very simple for a reason. You know what I mean? You don't want some super complex design. Kept it simple for a reason. So I tattooed it on myself, and I posted a picture of it, and boom, end of story. You know what I mean? Like, I woke up to 1 million views and climbing. Then Richie Weber shared it, and he hit over 7 million views on his page, and who knows where it went from there, and the millions and millions. And I was so overwhelmed. Like, I was like, wow, look at all these views. Then I'm getting calls from every state in the U.S. I'm getting calls from England. I got a call from Australia about recovery groups wanting to hang the ribbon in their groups, about people wanting to get it tattooed. I mean, it's so cool that I'm a tattoo artist, and I created a tattoo that's part of my job, and like the tattoo, but it's also like the combination. It's not just a ribbon by itself. It started as a tattoo, and it's a tattoo everywhere, man. It's so cool.
It is cool.
So cool. And it's nonstop. Keeps me going nonstop, man. From recovery groups, from other artists. Now I'm connected with tattoo artists from all over the world. It's just way too cool.
Hey guys, real quick, if you would just chime in, let us know where you're watching from. I'll throw them up on the screen if you want to include your clean dates. Get involved in the comments with each other. I love what's going on in the comments right now. You guys are showing some love and support for each other. If you're struggling, please reach out in the comments. We'll get you set up in a group chat. We'll get you some love and support. So please put up, throw in the comments where you're watching from. We'd love to know where you're watching from. If you have a clean date you're proud of, throw that in there, and I'll throw it up on the screen as well. Back to what you were saying about the power of the ribbon.
Yeah,
amazing.
I just created a design, and the world filled it with it. They gave it they gave it its empowerment, man. And some people hold it so dearly that it blows my mind. You know, some people share with me stories about how it saved their life and how they look at it, and it keeps them sober. And I'm like, no way. I mean, if that's true, that is completely insane. And so I decided not to just let it die, dude. I decided to invest all my money in it. You know, I threw up a website. I threw up a support group. I decided that this is meaningful. This is crazy meaningful, and that I'm not going to let it go anywhere.
That's beautiful. It's truly beautiful. That's, to me, it's a symbol of being a survivor. You know, it's
Yes.
the achievement of overcoming your addiction to live that life of purpose and destiny, whatever that looks like. You know, and that's what this platform is, to showcase stories just like this. It's not even a story, because stories indicate fiction. This is a testimony of someone, you overcoming this horrific past to have this life. You don't just have it, you created it, you embraced it, and you're living it, and you're a walking, talking miracle.
Thank you, man. It's just way too cool. A lot of people don't know that before my vision for art was music. I wrote tons of songs. I have a whole cluster of that. My music is my diary for my soul. That's what I call it. Like, that is my everything I feel comes out there. And now, because of this ribbon, it's put me up on a place where I can make these contacts, and I can finally make that dream a reality. And then that's it. That's the big one. Music, that is my holy grail of dreams.
Music. We're going to get back to this event coming up, but let's talk about this music project that you, and it's more of a dream than a project for you, right?
Yes, absolutely. It's a dream. It might be weird. It might be weird to hear for people, but people ask me, they're like, "Oh, it must be nice to live your dream as a tattoo artist." And to be honest, I wanted to be a tattoo artist not more than 3 years ago. You know what I mean? It was never a lifelong dream of mine. It is a super cool job, and I love it to death, and I put all my heart and pride into that too. But that is like the second best option. You know what I mean? My passion is art in both forms of drawing and music, and I'm about to make them both a reality. And a huge thank you to you for helping make that happen, because that is
elaborate on what we're talking about.
Oh yeah, I don't know, man.
you want to keep it a secret?
I reached out to Higgy here about if he knew anybody that could help me make some music. You know, I needed some beats, or I needed a producer, I needed a music video, something like that, because my musician past got the better of me, and I wrote a song about the ribbon. Something simple, you know, nothing too crazy, but I wanted to really get a song out there about it and a video. I reached out to Higgy, and he instantly put me in contact with Jordan Meyer, who is a producer. He makes music, and I thought I'd give him a shot, so I sent him a message, and he's super into it and super down. And
anybody that follows the stuff that I do, they know who Jordan Meyer is. Him and KC makes music. They have the song. They have multiple songs, but one of the more popular ones is the song "Sober." And he has his own studio. He's a professional musician. He has his own band. He is uber talented, and he is gonna hook you up. He is.
So I sent him some stuff, like me, how I used to make music. So I'd like hum a beat or sing a melody, and he got it right away. I sent it to him, and he sent it back 20 minutes of a sample beat of exactly what I hummed, and it is so awesome. So we're gonna click very well. So I'm actually flying out there on March 4th. You know, I'm flying out there. I'm gonna spend one night. We're gonna create the song. We're gonna get the song going. Possibly a second single.
Yeah,
I'm not flying out till the night after. So possibly a second single, and then we're gonna be discussing a full album coming out.
That's exciting. I'm stoked for you. All
this
is
cool.
Because you made the decision to quit doing drugs.
Yeah,
and quit robbing people.
Yeah, gotta stop robbing people.
And face it, you faced up to your consequences. You decided to change all these horrible habits that you had, and embrace life without drugs and alcohol. And how old are you now?
I'm 27.
27, and you're how long clean and sober?
8 years.
8 years clean and sober, man. The young generation need to know this, that you can stop doing dope and stop doing all these terrible things to yourself and your family, and have all these great blessings happen in your life.
Yeah, that's the thing. It wasn't, nothing was handed to me, man. You know what I mean? Nothing was handed to me. I created a giant hole and I decided to dig myself out of it. You know, that's what it's about. It's all about, people underestimate the power of their own mind, or they get scared of accepting responsibility, or people don't want to come out of their using because they're going to have to face up to every bridge that they burned. You know, and it becomes too scary to do. Like, oh, I don't want to make amends with all the people that I damaged throughout my addiction, so I'm just going to keep using. You know, it's when I stopped making excuses, man. I took control of my entire life, and I just haven't stopped shooting for the stars, man.
Yeah, you're shooting for the stars instead of shooting dope.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
that's. I mean, that's what it boils down to. And I got to ask you, how hard was it to face up to that inner pain that you knew you were suffering from, without the numbing of the drugs to do it?
Well, luckily I was going to prison, and I say luckily because in there you have nothing but yourself. You know, you are in a cage. So when I decided to get clean, there couldn't have been a better environment for me to head into. I mean, the people were horrible, the environment was terrible, but what did I do? I spent time reflecting. I spent time reading. I spent time learning. You know, I got my education in prison. Like I completely hit the ground running from the moment I set foot in the prison. And that's like to turn my life around. And I spent all that time self-reflecting. To face up to feelings that I buried for years, it is the most hard and painful experience of my entire life. It's like you get to the point where like you just wish that you dropped dead on the spot, you know, because you hit that wave of going this way and then getting clean and facing up's coming this way, and they collide in the middle, and then that's when you just like hit reset and your body shuts down and mind goes crazy. And it's like coming out of an egg, you know, you're hatching yourself anew, but it's a very painful, it's a very painful hatch, you know. And then the face up to it, and then sitting there, and I mean, yeah, there's drugs in prison. I could have easily been using in prison, you know. So I've heard a few times like, well, prison time doesn't count as sobriety. There's drugs in prison all the time, so it definitely counts. But yeah, prison was very good for me. It was a very good experience for me to grow and learn and see the things that I couldn't believe I let myself become. It was very hard. That was the hardest thing, was facing emotions.
You were surrounded by people that you didn't want to become.
Exactly. Yeah, it was a constant look in the mirror of things that like I can't believe.
I don't want to be that.
Yeah, I don't want to be that. Right. And then seeing people flourish in prison or loving it or being very juvenile. It's like, how did I let myself sink into this shithole? You know, it's just, it wasn't right for me, man. It wasn't right. I thought myself was better than what I was surrounded with.
And you were, because look at what you're doing now. You're an entrepreneur. You have your own company. You have created a representation of what recovery is, that people are proud to wear on their body, you know, on their clothing, and it's something that helps them remember where they come from and what they're striving for. I mean, you're creating a legacy for yourself, and you have a family.
Yep. It's very impressive that by 25 years old, I had my own business. I was the youngest business owner I knew, especially in the tattoo industry currently, for around this area at least. I know it's got to be younger out there, but I was the youngest here. And I had my own business, raising, you know, my own family, wife, kids, amazing. Mm-hmm. So I got out of prison when I was 23 years old. So from the moment I got out, I started, you know, I got a job, saving money, you know, things like that, finding healthy hobbies, exercises. I would definitely recommend for anybody that's looking for a way to help cope with being sober.
Absolutely. And you know, it's positive support. I mean, you have a mate that wants you to be the best version of yourself that you can be, and very supportive. You have children together. How old is the baby now? 4 months?
4 months, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, which is something I want to touch on too. When you get sober, my recommendation is to do it for you. You know, that's it. It seems uh kind of remedial, but it's not. I mean, like if you do it for somebody else and then that person leaves or you lose that crutch that you use, you did it for the wrong reasons and you have a better chance of going back to it. You got to do it for you. And I got sober before I had kids, before I had a wife. I had nothing but myself. You know, I had nothing. I got sober for me and only by me, and that's helped me just create that brick wall that nothing is ever, coming in the way. I went through some horribly heartbreaking experiences with my wife and other things in my life, and I've never once thought about going back to using. Never once have I struggled since I put up that wall around myself of like what I've been through and what decision I made.
Good
You
for
know,
you. I mean, you inspire me. You know, someone that's relapsed multiple times. If you can do it, I can do it. It doesn't matter our age difference. We're on the same level. You know, you have experience. When you speak, I listen because what you've been through is very similar to me, and you've walked this out to where you are today, and it's very inspiring. So thank you for sharing that.
thank you,
The,
thank you very much.
let me see. Someone asked, do you have any music out now that they can listen to?
I have some clips of like when I performed live in my high school like years ago. Nothing that's nothing that I'm proud of. Nothing that's very good. But
Okay.
everything back then was super heavy too. It's pure screaming all the way through it and stuff like that.
Primo death metal.
Yeah,
Crap,
yeah. That's everything from back then.
huh? You've evolved since that point.
Yep, I like to mix it up now. I still do some of that. There's still gonna be some of that, but it's a nice mix.
So let's talk about your events coming up. What's the date?
Yes. The event is May 16th, 2020, starting at 2 p.m. And at this event, it's public. Anybody can come. There's going to be a video recorded, a montage. There's going to be pictures taken, and there's going to be like a mass amount of public figures that I'm not sure if have ever been together in one place with that many people, like the public figures together. I mean, it's going to be one of the few times you can catch people from all over the United States that are public figures in one area.
Mhm.
You
Come
know,
in for
one
the
spot.
weekend. If you want to come in for the weekend. That way you can check out the shop. You can get some ink done because he may be able to do a piece of work here and there during the event, but honestly, his Deamon's focus is going to be on running the event, making sure the food's done, and
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
just orchestrating this whole thing. And thank you for including me. I'm on
Dude,
part of
of
it.
course, man, of course. Yes, I'm spending a few $100s on brats and burgers. The food's gonna be free. That's just for me, handing it out. That's gonna be no charge on the food. Public figures that are coming are free to set up their merch tables and sell merch. So, I mean, if there's anybody that any of you guys want to see at the event, send an invite out too. Put them in contact with me. The event's gonna start at 2. But like Higgy said, it's gonna be all weekend as far as me being open. I'm not scheduling any other regular business tattoos Friday through Sunday. That's for
Boom.
travelers.
Tina Baranek,
Yep.
1319 East Main Street, Merrill, Wisconsin.
Yep, 54452. But yep, so like if people who are traveling want to get the ribbon tattoo or any other tattoo, Friday and Sunday would be ideal because the event will be running on Saturday. But I will have those days open if anybody wants. We also got a deal worked out with American, the hotel up the road. If you call and mention the ribbon event, I think there's like 20 to 50 bucks off, something like that. It's 80 bucks a night instead of their 100 or whatever they charge. So there's a slightly discounted hotel. We have a huge parking lot, so everybody's gonna be hanging out there. You can come check out the tattoo shop. It's gonna be open. Food, guest speakers, special edition merchandise. I mean, it's just gonna be a big, cool place to hang out and talk to everybody. What's up?
Do we need a DJ?
Are you
I've been a DJ.
No. This dude contacted me and he said he was going to DJ it for free, but I have no idea who this guy is. I've never talked to him before ever. No idea his what's the word I'm looking for?
Credentials?
Yeah, and authenticity, like if they're going to be there. you know, his accountability.
Anybody out there watching, if you know a DJ in the area that you know is reputable, reliable, that is willing to come and just party sober with us, put them in touch with Deamons or myself. I'm gonna try to help orchestrate some of this and make sure this event comes off. I just had an event year before last. I had 32 public figure people
Wow.
come and speak, music and speakers and whatnot, and it came off really well. It was an overdose awareness event for Stephen Robert Bates, which is a friend of mine. I went to high school with. Her son passed away from overdose.
Okay.
We wanted to raise awareness. We wanted to memorialize his name and get some people some help. So anybody locally in your area or nationally that wants to bring resources to this event to help, please do, because I'm hoping that some people from your area will come out and say, look, I'm fucked up. I don't want to live like this no more. And we want to be able to get moving in the right direction.
Right. Yep. We'll be there to help and all that. Okay. I'm new at this, so 32 public figures. I don't think I'm gonna have that many, but yeah, but there's gonna be a few. You know, a few.
We're gonna put this together.
Impressive.
It was a lot. I didn't do it by myself. Believe that. And I only mentioned that because we're gonna get some structure to this, and we're gonna let everybody speak that wants to speak, and we're gonna have fun. We're gonna get a little crazy. We're gonna do some videos, live feeds going on. We're gonna eat, fellowship, get some tattoo work. We're gonna hear some powerful messages, and we're gonna bond. And it's gonna be a mass gathering of survivors, overcomers, and people that have beat addiction up to this point.
Yes, absolutely, man. It's gonna be way cool. So a lot of big things happening, man. From the event to the music being made to people continuing to share and spread the ribbon to it's just way too cool.
Aaron Spalding, I would love to see you come to Wisconsin. Aaron is a speaker. He is a poet. Him and Shanda have worked together on some artwork, and he's a dear friend of mine. I'd love to have him come to Wisconsin. He's in Indiana. It's not that far.
You coming, Aaron? The Chicago Hope Dealers also said they would love to see Aaron as well. So
exactly. Jonathan and Myra is coming. Maddie's going to be there. Shanda, Richie, you. Who else is signed up for this? Aaron. Look at there. I'm
gonna plan.
Head on up.
Okay.
That's my dude right there. I love him. I've ever since I've been in recovery, I've known him.
That's awesome, man. I invited some other people. I invited Nestor. I invited Casey Makes Music. They both gave me maybes. So I mean, I wouldn't count on it, but I'm looking, sending it out there.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what we can do to get maybe AJ Morrow and Joe Nestor and Aaron Quinlan up there. Try to put a little peer pressure on them to come party with.
Right, man. Yeah, it's just gonna be really cool, chill, hang out type thing, man. Everybody could just hang out and get to know each other. And at the last event I hosted last year, it was just like a last minute thing with Richa and Shonda. It was a very last minute thing. It wasn't huge. It wasn't announced very well. Like none of that. And it was still a decent turnout. And I did have people come that were expressing the need and want to get clean. And I just want to commend those people for coming out. And I implore more. If you want the resources and you're trying to be serious about it, come to the event. Come see what sobriety can do for you.
I'm trying to get my admin from Redemption Road, Rebecca Foss. She's in Wisconsin. She also is a peer support specialist and is always at the state capitol getting involved with what's going on. So she has her finger on the pulse of recovery in Wisconsin. Maddie has resources up there. Anybody in Wisconsin that wants to come, that wants to just be a part of something cool, man. Because I guarantee you, once you experience this environment and the vibe, this is where recovery really starts to happen when you're mingling, you're meshing with people on the same path that want to live. They're excited about it. You know, this is not going to be just something boring to do. This is going to be something fun. It's going to be super, super cool.
Dude, the way you talk about it has me more excited about it.
I get hyped. I've been a part of recovery events all across this country, and I've never walked away from any of them feeling worse when I got there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't see how. Yeah, and I'm an up and comer, man. You know, I'm like 6 months into this, 8 months into this recovery world. So I mean, 8 years sober, but I was still alone. Even around here, you know, everybody, like you said, to have that sober environment, man, it's going to be so cool. Yeah.
To show that we can have fun without drugs and alcohol. You know, people, when I first got into recovery, I didn't see how anybody could have any kind of fun without getting high.
Right.
And it's so possible. I mean, it's amazing.
Well, that's what work. I mean, that's what life becomes, man. You're like, all right, I'm gonna get sober. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna work and I'm gonna die. You know, I'm gonna work and I'm gonna die. But it's about filling in those spaces in between work and death with things that you enjoy. Yeah, right.
As much as you can.
Yeah. Right. It's not just work and die.
You know, I spent over 35 years in active addiction, and I was handcuffed to my addiction. I couldn't leave my home. I couldn't leave my block. I got in trouble with the law. I was on probation. I couldn't do anything. Now that I'm clean and sober, I'm free. I'm free to go and do as I please. And I like going. I like doing things. I want to fit as much of living as possible in the time that I have left. And there's so much out there to do.
Yeah. I mean, look at addiction or your use of substances the same as being incarcerated or on parole. I mean, it is a cage keeping you from being free. It is telling you when you can eat, when you can sleep, you know, what you can do, when you can leave. And then it's like the same thing. Then the second you get released from prison or jail or parole, all of a sudden this invisible weight you had around your leg is gone. And now all of a sudden you're like, what do I do? What do I do? You know, the possibilities. And it's about doing the right thing and staying sober instead of running to the wrong thing. But it's about getting that shackle off your leg, man.
Absolutely. And that's part of the ribbon.
Yeah, that is the goal. That is the main saying of the ribbon, you know?
That's right.
Break that chain, you know?
Chain, live, be free. Now I'm excited. Super excited. Is there anything else you would like to add that we haven't touched on?
You're
gonna have merch. You're gonna have shirts and things made up for purchase, right?
Mentioned about. What's up?
Go ahead. I was talking about the shirts. You're having shirts made up.
Issues. But yes, I have. If you go to inktohorizonstattoos.com, selection of OAOB merchandise. I also designed a special edition. What's up?
What's OAOB stand for?
Overcoming addiction or bad habits.
Overcoming.
So that's the official. That's the official name of the ribbon is OAOB ribbon.
Gotcha.
So the inktohorizonstattoos.com, you can purchase merchandise. I'm also having a special edition shirts made for the ribbon event, kind of like when you go to a concert, you can only get that one shirt because you attended the concert. Mm-hmm. There will be special edition shirts with the Inked Horizons logo and the support ribbon and the other ribbon on the other side. I have a mock image of it that will be available to order if you want. I'm not going to keep a major supply there. I'll fill out a form and I'll send you the shirts, there in the spot. But that's the only way to get your special edition OAOB first annual ribbon event shirt. But otherwise, there's tons of cool merchandise coming up all the time for the ribbon. I'm constantly designing. One of my major focal points in my life that I'm good at is just promoting. I'm always promoting. I'm always promoting. I'm always putting myself out there. Oh, Packers won, I guess.
Hey, Packers won. Go Packs.
Yeah. Now Maddie can chill out, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, there's just a few things that I haven't ever talked about that I keep forgetting about, like that I had kidney failure when I was 16. Both my kidneys failed due to the amount of drugs used. I believe stage 5 is dead or close to it, and I was at stage 4, like 80%, both kidney failures. And they wanted to put me on dialysis, or I would die, is what I was told in the hospital.
Wow.
So I sat for, I think it was 2 weeks I was in the hospital. I was 16, and my mom was crying because I kept refusing to go on dialysis. I wanted to die, to be honest with you. So I refused dialysis, and my mom was having a horrible, time coping with that. But I ended up making a recovery, and then I looked at it as, well, shit, I'm invincible. I'm gonna keep using, instead of, oh, here's my sign to get clean,
Here's your sign.
Right. I was like, nope, I'm gonna keep using. And then one thing that I have not ever talked about publicly yet is that I actually had hepatitis C. The first needle I ever used was a dirty needle in a guy's basement that I didn't know was dirty, which sucks because I used clean needles for 5 years after that, and then just found that I had it from the one I used my first time ever. I'm like that commercial, just one time, like, and it's over with. But yeah, I had Hep C for years, and again, I just wanted it to kill me. It was attacking my liver and whatnot. And once I got clean, my mom helped me fund the new cure that they have. It's not a treatment; it's a cure. I've been, I believe, 2 years, 3 years, completely out of my bloodstream, completely gone. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Can thank Mama Bear for that one. I think she paid like $5,000 out of pocket, like, and then because the insurance, it was like a $90,000 thing, and the insurance covered most of it. But we said that
that's another blessing of recovery, because if you were still using, you never would have addressed that.
Right, I wouldn't have even wanted to, and then you run the risk of getting it again. So like most people would never even try to get rid of it, but once I seen there was a cure and I was sober, my mom was very adamant about me getting it. So I am 100% Hep C free for years now. So I mean, that's a huge thing.
That's beautiful. Congratulations. You have so many blessings in your life.
I suppose so. I guess when you look at it, what I mean, like.
I suppose so. So if anyone out there would like to bring Deamon to your area to speak, to do tattoos, set up an event, please reach out to him. He's willing to travel. If you guys will, if you'll make arrangements for him to get there and lodging, he'll come.
Yeah. I will be more than happy. I'll be more than happy to
come.
Yes, I would be more than happy to attend any event that is hosted anywhere. Absolutely. And I will, I'll pay for my own hotel. I got that. I could do that. But yes, if anybody wants to host an event anywhere in Wisconsin, I am definitely there. No doubt about it. This is just too important to me, and I think it's very cool. And then people are doing it for me too. They're coming out here. There's no reason for me not to go out there. It's all about staying humble, man. Like it's just too cool. And reciprocation is key.
Reciprocate. There's that word again.
Yeah, reciprocation for recovery.
Giving back what is given to you. That's a very important principle in recovery. You give back.
That's kind of what this event symbolizes. It's a giving back event. People come out and just talk about what we've done and how we can help.
Yep, and how we can network and join forces going forward to reach more people.
Well, I also feel like in this day and age, at this point in time, this recovery is it's becoming huge, man. I mean, it's necessary. It's becoming huge for people. Like, 15 years ago, the people that are huge right now in recovery probably wouldn't have been. Recovery just wasn't a thing. It was more like the epidemic was just sweeping everybody, man. And now it's like the highlight. Now's the pinnacle. Now's the time for recovery to rise, and it's becoming huge, man. It's becoming absolutely huge, and people are doing amazing things with it. This is the precipice of recovery, man. This is the golden age right here and now.
It is. This is a very critical time in our nation's history. We need success stories stepping out of the shadows and repping their recovery out loud. Whatever form, fashion you recover, share it with somebody else. Give them that hope, because too many people are dying. They're passing. and becoming statistics. And we all deserve to be more than just a Facebook status.
No, absolutely. And that's
There's
one
life
thing.
on the other side of this this
Yeah.
addiction issue.
The ribbon, man, that's one thing that I'm super proud of, is that people who didn't know how to get their achievement out there or didn't know how to express themselves, and this is what I hear directly from people, this ribbon has given it like an unspoken group. It's like a group without being in a group. It's like it's giving people, you see somebody else with a ribbon and you have that instant connection with that person.
It's community.
Yep, it just built a community throughout the entire world overnight. You know what I mean? It's like, and everybody is becoming more and more proud. It's like you just said, and like I stand by, it's not about hiding your addiction. It is about bringing it to light and then figuring out what to do with it. And this ribbon brings it right to the forefront, man. No words need to be said. You bring it out.
Absolutely. I love your vibe. I love what your intentions are. I love the work that you're doing. Let people know where they can find you on Facebook and social media.
Well, I have the Deamon Boettcher public figure page. I have the Inked Horizons tattoo page. If anybody supports the ribbon, I have a OAOB recovery ribbon group on Facebook. It's OAOB dots in the middle recovery ribbon page. So it's got over 2,000 members, and people every day they post on there, and other people comment and they support and pick them up, and they share their ribbons and they talk about their stories. And I welcome everybody who supports the ribbon to join that group, just to stay in touch with everybody with the ribbon. I have the
celebrate your recovery.
Celebrate. I have the Deamons art page, which is my main personal, page, which is very strange how Inked Horizons is a tattoo shop, but Inked Horizons is where I created the ribbon. So now Inked Horizons is a hybrid of recovery and tattoos, and that's just it's a crazy page, man.
That's awesome. And I discovered the Deamon Boettcher Instagram page today.
Yeah, I totally new on Instagram. Can't quite figure it out. I guess I'm supposed to hashtag a bunch of stuff. I'm working on it. I'll figure it out. But Jordan's the one.
People will jump on board.
Jordan's actually the one who told me to. He's like, dude, you're gonna be a musician now. You have to get a damn Instagram page. And I was like, all right, bro, I'll get the Instagram.
Hey, they know what he knows what he's doing. The whole group, the Cloud Gang movement, they all work together and support each other. And I'd love to see you all get linked up and just reach more people. That's what this is about.
Well, you are the link in this chain that put me in connection with these people. So like, you're huge on this.
Honored. Thank you. I'm just glad that I have these relationships, and I've had the experiences to back up the references that I give out today. And they're just amazing people, uber talented, about the right things for the right reasons, just like yourself. So I feel truly blessed and honored to play a role in this in any form or fashion. So again, thank you. We're about an hour and 10 minutes. We're going to go ahead and is there anything else that you feel that you may have left out that you would like to touch on?
Just one thing and one thing only. If anybody wants to message Matthew Jablonski, let him know how heartbroken I am that he did not attend this this live.
Right.
That's how you reach him. Matthew Jablonski, motivational speaker. You let him know that that we are hurting here based on his absence, which I feel is for a very unvital reason. It was unjustified.
Lack of affection and respect all the way around.
So that's it. That's most important.
No biggie. Okay. Hey, thanks everybody for tuning in. Hey, Thursday I have Terry Bentley Hill. She's the Dallas defense attorney that is a suicide awareness advocate. She'll be joining us. We're going to be talking about her journey from being a survivor of losing a loved one to suicide, and her awareness initiative called "Stop Minding Your Own Business." There's a lot of suicide taking place. A lot of it is addiction related, mental health, And we're trying to curb that a little bit and create some awareness. So please tune in on Thursday for Terry Bentley Hill. It's going to be an amazing interview. You may have seen her on M to the Rock Radio as well. She's a consistent guest on there as well. Everyone, please shoot Deamon a message. Tell him how great he did tonight. Thank you, my friend. Thank you for always stepping up to the plate, always to give this message of hope. You know, I'm looking forward to our adventures in the future, and they will be adventures, I promise you.
Adventures they will be. Thank you, man.
Over fun, man. Thank you, guys. Everybody, if you would, just please continue to share this out. It's been an amazing live feed. Thank you, Deamon, my friend. I'll talk to you
soon. Thanks, Iggy. Bye, buddy.
Okay, good night, everybody. We're going to be peacing out.